In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to help you know if getting a wind turbine is for you or not. I watched over 1,000 videos on YouTube and other platforms concerning wind turbines, and I've tried a lot of things myself concerning wind turbines, and I can tell a thing or two concerning wind turbines. Now, the first thing you're looking for is wind in your location. Without wind, no wind turbines. So that's always the first thing. If you look at the video you are watching right now, you can see that's my immediate environment, my property, and around my property. You can see the wind that we have, and this gives you an idea of the kind of wind I generally have on a daily basis. So with this, I haven't studied the wind I've been having, just generally observing, let's put it that way. I found out that I have good enough wind to drive a wind turbine. Now, most of the footage you are seeing now, they're somewhere around 10 feet above or below, just a bit above, just around 10 feet. And if I'm going to install my wind turbine, it's going to be somewhere around 30 feet. And for those of us who understand how wind works, the higher you go, the more the wind. So that means if I can hit 30 feet from the ground, I am going to be getting decent wind to run a wind turbine. Also, you notice that I'm in a rural area. So if you are living in an urban area, you may not have the opportunity or privilege I have. I call it privilege because I can see the trees, the way they are moving. There's some places you live in urban areas, you don't even know how strong the wind is. So in such situations, you are definitely going to need what we call a digital anemometer. And what that does is that it helps you to know the average wind speed you are getting in your location, and of course the maximum speed depending on how you program it. Now, the important thing about this gadget is that instead of buying a wind turbine that will cost you over $500, $1,000, it's better to just spend something that is about $10 to $30 on the average. And at the end of the day, you now know if you have good enough wind to run a wind turbine. The other go-to for some persons is using the world wind map. I don't particularly recommend the world wind map, but I think it can guide you into knowing if your area, that is your country or your city, has good winds. So that will now help you to further narrow it down with maybe an anemometer or something, because I don't believe that the world wind map can pinpoint my location, because I can be in a little valley and that will affect a lot of things, or there can be trees growing around that the world wind map is not taking note of. So those could very easily affect my wind turbine performance. So I wouldn't want to use that as the judge of whether I have good winds in my location or not. Equally important as getting a good wind in your location is getting a good wind turbine. Now, the best way that I found, having watched the number of videos I've watched concerning wind turbine, is to buy exactly the wind turbine that is working for someone that you have either watched or somebody that you know that is giving you the results that they're getting from their wind turbines. If you fail to do that, you are most likely going to buy the wrong wind turbine, and you'll be among those people that complain that wind turbines don't work. I haven't spent a huge amount of money, my wind turbine is not working for me. You want to take your time to watch as many videos as possible, and of course, you should be able to tell people who are telling you the truth and people who are falsifying results. That is exactly the wind turbine you want to buy. They always leave their links to the products in the description below. Maybe in future, I'm going to be linking you guys up depending on your interest in getting wind turbines. I'm going to be buying wind turbines as well, and we're going to be seeing the results on this channel. It's something you want to note. So don't go out there and buy those wind turbines. They tell you a 5,000 wind turbine is just 5 kg. Now, just to give you a heads up, an average 1,000 watts wind turbine is somewhere around 20 kg or even more. So that's to give you an idea. That's a real 1,000 watts wind turbine. So when you're checking online and they're telling you that a wind turbine of 5 kg can give you 3,000 watts, of course, even in your dream, that cannot happen. So you want to be guided in that regard. A lot of people overestimate wind turbines. If a wind turbine is rated as real 1,000 watts, it doesn't mean you're going to be getting 1,000 watts throughout the day. You're going to be getting that 1,000 watts when you have a storm or very high winds. That's the only time you're going to hit that 1,000 watts. So realistically, I always encourage myself first and others to just go for the 10% mark. So if I have a 1,000 watts wind turbine, the average power I'm going to be getting throughout the day should be 100 watts, and of course the total energy I will get throughout the day should be 2,400 watt hour. So if I can get that from my 1,000 watts wind turbine on a daily basis, that will be very, very good for me. Number 3 on our list is, are you a DIYer? If you have a wind turbine, who is going to install it for you? Let's say you buy it, or somebody gifts you with a wind turbine. Who is going to install it for you? As you may have good winds and you have a good wind turbine, can you install it yourself? If you are installing a small wind turbine, let's just say under 3,000 watts, and you are getting experts to come and do it for you, in the long run, it's not going to be economical because you have to pay them a lot of money. So I don't usually recommend that people pay so much to install their wind turbines. So if you have a neighbor that knows how to do these things, that could be the reason why you want to say, okay, let's get a wind turbine. I know my neighbor is going to assist me. But if you don't have the technical know-how, unless you are getting a wind turbine that is over 5,000 watts or more, I don't think wind turbine is meant for you, because you're just going to be spending needlessly. You're going to maintain your wind turbines at one point or another, and if it's time to maintain it, you still have to call the expert to come and do it for you. So that makes it a no-go for people who don't do things themselves as DIYers. So that's just my take on that. The fourth thing on our list is going to be the idea of comparing our wind turbine with our solar panels. Now, this may not really sound like it's one of the items on the list, but this is where it really matters. A lot of people that complain that our wind turbines are not working, this is how they reason it. They tell you that their solar panels in the next 2-3 years to get the value for their solar panels back, that it would have paid for itself, let's put it that way. So when they are doing the calculation for their wind turbines, you are hearing that they say in 100 years it's not going to pay the money back to them. So if you are doing wind turbines because you want it to pay for itself, for the most part, you may not get to that place where it will pay for itself. You want to look at your wind turbine as something that complements your solar panels, not compete with your solar panels. I depend entirely on solar panels. Now, on a cloudy day, it looks more like a bad day for business for me because I don't have enough power to drive my business. So having a wind turbine could just make a difference between having a bad day in business and having my days consistent. And here's how it works. On a cloudy day, the wind is expected to be higher than on a sunny day. So think about it. If I have a wind turbine, at the end of the day, the power I'm not getting from my solar, maybe I could be getting it from my wind turbine. So that's just the way I reason it. And of course, the idea that you can get power during the night, because once my solar shuts down, there's no power till the next day. So that knowing that you can still get something from your wind turbine, that is very, very helpful. And what that does is that it also boosts your battery life, because if your battery goes down every morning, like you drain your batteries, or your battery goes, your depth of discharge for your battery is very, very high, it may affect your battery in the long run. So your wind turbine has a way of helping your batteries to even last beyond the lifespan or beyond the time it's supposed to last normally. That is if you're in an off-grid situation. That extra power you're getting from your wind turbine that tops it up at night, at the end of the day, that helps your depth of discharge to be low through the night. It has a way of adding some months, some weeks, years to your battery life. So that's something to note. Finally, this is just an all-encompassing point. One of the things I found out about wind turbine owners is that there's a doggedness that most of them have. They don't give up on their wind turbines. I know this may sound funny. If their wind turbine is not working at a particular height, they are ready to increase the height. If the blades are too much for their wind turbines, they are ready to downsize. If the blades are not enough, they are ready to increase. And in some cases, they altogether relocate their wind turbines. So somehow, if you don't have that kind of personality where you are ready to, do everything it takes, everything within your power to make your wind turbine work, sometimes you may not get the results you are looking for from your wind turbine. Like in my own case now, I have made up my mind a long time ago that my wind turbine is going to work for me. So as long as I get the right wind turbine, or I make the right wind turbine, I've made up my mind that it's going to work. And making it work might just be that I have to take it even beyond the 30 feet that I mentioned earlier, just to get it to work. The other thing is I could be trying different blades on it, 3 blades, 5 blades, 6 blades, whatever works. And maybe if I get to the point where I have to gear it up, I will find a way to gear it up. So not everybody can be this dogged in terms of getting their wind turbines to work. So most people that get their wind turbines to work, they have at one point or the other, they tried different things, and the best result they were getting, that was what they stuck with. So it's something to know, because if you have that mindset that you just put your wind turbine anywhere you want to put it, at the end of the day you are going to get results from it, most likely you are going to be disappointed. So just a final story. There was a man that bought a wind turbine. That was an old video. And at the end of the day, he installed it on his backyard. The first thing that I observed was that the wind turbine was lower than his rooftop, and there were some trees around. and somehow he was expecting to get power from the wind turbine. So I'm sure in the comment section he would have known that he needs to take it much higher above the trees and his rooftop. So I hope this is helpful. Don't rush into wind turbines. Make sure you watch videos like this before you do wind turbines. Wind turbines can be very stressful, frustrating and everything. So do like, share and subscribe to this channel, and see you on the next one.